तमाम साथियों के हुजूर में बेहद शुक्रगुजारी एंड तमाम के हुजूर में या अली मदद का नजराना कबूल हो। यहाँ पे हम वेलकम करेंगे सुल्तानुद्दीन साहिब को। या अली मदद।
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad Nabeen Sahib, and Ya Ali Madad. Just let me share the screen, please.
जी या
Everything looks okay?
Yes, now we can see your screen. Shukran alhamdulillah.
Shall we start now?
जी बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Haq Nur Maulana Shah Kareem Al-Husayni Hadir Imam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. يا إمام الزمان يا مولانا أنت قوتي وأنت الصمد وعليك اتكالي يا هازر يا موجود يا شاكريم الحسين أنت الإمام الحق المبين توفيق طاقة همت ياريه. With the mercy of beloved Hazrat Imam alayhi salam and also the prayers and the vibration of your pure souls, inshallah, we are going to cover question number 1331 from that book of 100 questions. And the question 30 is, to me, pretty much straightforward. So we're going to go through that one quickly. And the question 31 involves a lot of verses of the Quran. So we're going to spend some time on that one, inshallah. So question number 30 is about Imamat of Hazrat Hassan alayhi salam. We all know he was Imam, and he was an entrusted Imam in Imam Mustawda. And I think in the previous sessions we have covered this, the types of the Imams. So we're going to go through that quickly. Hazrat Imam Hassan alayhi salam was the entrusted Imam, Imam Mustawda. And we have 5 types of Imams. Imam Muqim, the foundation Imam, or Imam Asas, Imam Mustaqar, Imam Mustawda, Imam Mutim. Just to refresh our minds that Imam Muqim, from the progeny of this Imam Mustaqar, that Imam who happened to bring about a Natiq, a Sahib Sharia, the Lord of Sharia, like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a Natiq. So Imam Hazrati Abu Talib alayhi salam was Imam Muqim. So that Imam who brings up the Natiq and spiritually and intellectually all that, and that Imam is called Imam Muqim. Then the following Imam after the Natiq is Imam Asas, the foundation Imam. Then from that lineage, continuing on, Nurun ala Nur, Nur ala Nur, Imam Mustaqar. At any point when Imamat divides into 2 sections, one happened to be Mustaqar, the other one Mustawda. Mustawda, so by definition, the way we have been taught, would continue for one or few generations, and the Imamat, the office of Imamat, would go back to the Imam Mustaqar. And from the prophets, some prophets happen to be Imam as well as prophets, like Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was a Natiq, and he was as well as Imam. What about the status of, I think we covered this question in a previous session, but just to go back a little bit. According to one saying is that Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was Abd Khas first, special servant, Abd Khas. From that status, he was successful to go to the next stage. He became Nabi. From Nabi, he became Rasul. From Rasul, he became Natiq. So Natiq is the highest status of the prophets. Natiq. And after that, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ بِكَلِمَاتٍ, when Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala tested Ibrahim on some kalimat, some words, فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ, and he completed that, then Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala said, Inni ja'iluka linnasi imam. I'm going to make you imam for the whole world, human, nas. So we know that by definition, the Nas in the Arabic language, all the way from the time of Adam up to now, all these people is called Nas. So Hazrat Ibrahim was chosen by Allah to be Imam for the whole Nas. I think we covered how he could be Imam for the whole humanity from the time of Adam to now. So we're not going to go into that because that was our we discussed that before. The point was that a Natiq at the same time can be Imam because he was Natiq as well, and he was an Imam too. Then after Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam divided into two: Ismail alayhi salam, Imam Mustaqar; Ishaq alayhi salam, Imam Mustawda. Then from the Imam Mustawda, Ishaq alayhi salam, all those Bani Israel, the prophets of Israel, came. So these are five types. Imam, we covered that: Imam Muqim, Imam Asas, Imam Mustaqar, Imam Mustawda, and Imam Mutim. Mutim, the completer, Tamam. Mutim Tamam, who completes the small cycle. Small cycle, we have major cycle, small cycle. Small cycle, every seventh Imam in the small cycles is considered Imam Mutim. So that Mutim is Arabic word from Tamam, who completes, so the completer, completes the cycle, Imam Mutim. I hope all this clear. If not, then during the question period, we're going to go back to this, inshallah. The next question, question number 31, is about the Janishine Rasul, heir to the Prophet. And it's somewhat, it's controversial. Controversial among, not within Ismailis, within the Shias altogether, but between the Sunnis and Shias, it's controversial. And the question reads this way: if the Sunnis refuse, inkar, to accept the event of Ghadir Khum, how can the Shias prove that Hazrat Ali was the only true heir and worthy successor to the Prophet? If we look at the question right from the start, inkar, those who do inkar is munkir. Who would do munkir? Would be a munkir, who would deny the truth. And by definition, if anybody denies the truth, that's kafir. Kafir is from the word kafara, kafere. It has a lot of meanings. One meaning is to conceal the truth and present something else. So to fabricate something else. So to conceal, to hide the truth. And if that's the case, at one point, leaders of the Jamaat, the way I heard it, approached it as Imam alayhi that the outside people are calling us kafir. And Shah Karim al-Husayni as Imam asked them, what do you mean by kafir? What's the definition in the kafir in the dictionary? They picked up the general dictionary, and the general dictionary would be something else. No, as Imam said, get a reliable dictionary. Which dictionary was it? So when you look at that dictionary, the trustworthy definition of kafir, from kafara, to conceal, to hide the truth. So the one who hides the truth becomes kafir. And Ghadir, then as Imam asked, then who is hiding the event of Ghadir Khum? Who is hiding? So we leave it at that. We don't go in detail. From that, we get the definition of kafir, as well as all those that hide the Ghadir Khum, then we know who are they. So the moment we say munkir, this stops our this process of reasoning with anybody that we would not accept the event of Ghadir Khum, because anybody is munkir, refuses the truth. There's no point to go on with the other further reasoning. So everything stops right there. But for the people of intellect, there's a lot of verses in the Quran Sharif, and there is some reliable hadith about the Ghadir Khum. And in the Ujjatul Wida, The last was that the last time that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went for Hajj, upon the return, upon the Ghadir Khum, the hadith that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made, that hadith, man kuntu mawla, fahaza aliyun mawla. This mawla thing, if Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would have said just that Ali is mawla of all these believers, then they had a point, that because mawla has a lot of meanings. But Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with wisdom, said man kuntu mawla, the way, or with all those meanings that I'm mawla of all of you, the same way Hazrat Ali is mawla. Then it restricted the meaning of mawla. What would it mean with mawla? This did not start here. If we go back in that Dawati Ashira, then that invitation that Prophet Muhammad sallam was commanded by Allah, wa anzir ashiratikal aqrabin, and warn all your close, like immediate family members. Ashiratikal aqrabin, aqrabin, all those immediate family members, not the foreigner. So that was the first time when Prophet Muhammad sallam called all his uncles and immediate family members and informed them of the divine mission. And if we look 1 second, we go to the Sharia and the Sunni sources of all those Sunni sources, they say, the so-called historians say that when this happened, the first man who accepted Islam was this person, like Hazrat Abu Bakr. But ask yourself, because this is divine command, only your immediate family members. Where was that person considered? Was that person included in that immediate family members? Was he even present there? So you can search out that answer for yourself, because that the history proves that he's not a family member, his immediate family members. In that verse of the Quran is ashiratikal aqrabin. So look at that, the history is not reflecting the truth. Okay. Even at that point, when Hazrat Ali was a very young age, only 10 or 11, even at that time, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in response said that you are use 5 titles to Hazrat Ali. And he said that no other prophets were without the vicegerent. Whenever Allah sent a prophet, they had a sas here, a brother, a legatee, a vicegerent, a wali, a wazir. And from that point on, he mentioned that, Ya Ali, you're my brother, my waris, my khalifa, my wali, and my wazir. Wazir is the one, wazir is from the wizir. Wizir means weight. So wazir, who lifts all the weight. Now look at that, all this risalat of Prophet Muhammad sallam, and the esoteric weight of that. Who carried it on? That's the wazir. So these 5 names of Hazrat Ali, or title of Hazrat Ali, right there from that age. Now, this is very important, that in general understanding, even amongst our Jama'at, the general understanding is that Hazrat Ali salam became the Imam when Prophet Muhammad sallam declared him at the event of Ghadir Khum. But with the principles that we have been taught, those principles say that Nurun ala Nur, and that Nur came to Hazrat Abdul Muttalib. From Hazrat Abdul Muttalib, the Mustawda went to Abdullah. Mustaqar went to Abu Talib. And from Abu Talib went straight to Hazrat Ali. So Hazrat Ali became Imam at the event of Ghadir Khum, or when the Imam is Sabiq, left this world. Then we check the history, the dates. When did Hazrat Abu Talib pass away? That time, based on the principles of the Quran, Nurun ala Nur, Nur ala Nur, especially with Imam Mustaqar. So he was Imam back then. But Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he was doing his fasting. And the event of Ghadir Khum was the Eid, celebration of Eid, Eid Ghadir Khum. That fasting is enough. Ya ayyuhar rasulu, baligh anna aliyan mawla al-mu'minin. So this verse of the Quran, for those who hears this verse this way for the first time, it's in one of the Sunni sources that the original verse of the Quran was being read this way. Ya ayyuhar rasulu baligh anna aliyan mawla al-mu'minin wa illam taf'al ma unzila ilayka ya ayyuhar rasulu baligh ma unzila ilayka anna aliyan mawla al-mu'minin wa illam taf'al fama ballaghta risalatahu wallahu ya'simuka min nas. The rest you know, but this portion which has been omitted, anna aliyan mawla al-mu'minin. Yeah, certainly Ali is the Mawla of all the believers, the master of all the believers. This is very important, and Naveen Saiba might help with that. The reference later on, that's from a Durr Mansur. Then the proper reference would be given proper to you next session or some other time. So here is the, because the question is very important, this is our identity, this is the foundation of a Shia Islam, if you will. It started from there. So we need to have a proper understanding of this, what was happening at Ghadir Khum, before that, after that, and when did Imam Ali alayhi salam became Imam? Apparently Ghadir Khum, but based on the principles of the Quran, based on the principles of Nur ala Nur, when Imam al-Lahiq leaves this world, at that moment, following Imam al-Lahiq, Imam al-Sabiq leaves this world, Imam al-Lahiq becomes Imam Mustaqar. So, but Ghadir Khum was just the declaration. Fasting is enough. O Rasul, fasting is enough. Now, in the language of Sharia, we say Allah commanded Rasul, O Rasul, baligh. So, give this message. It's such a heavy message, that if you don't give this message to the people right now, the whole Risalat, like 23 years of prophethood, is equal to nothing. So if that's the case, in the language of Sharia, it says Allah said that, but Imam Baqir said ma qila fillah. Whatever is said about Allah, he says Allah, ma qila fillah fahuwa fina. All those about us, the Imams. Ma qila fina, whatever is said about us, fahuwa fil bulagha'i min shi'atina. That's about the well-progressed of our Shias, the followers, the Murids. If that's the case, Hazrat Ali alayhi salam himself said, O Rasul, the time is up, fasting is over. So declare the Eid Ghadir Khum. Not the Imamah. The Imamah was known to the inner circle, was already way, it was known. Inner circle. But apparently, Imamah started from Ghadir Khum, but not in reality. All right. So, because the question is about the refusal of the Ghadir Khum event, that Hazrat Ali was the trustworthy, the only successor of the Prophet Muhammad. It's a lot of verses of the Quran. That Dawat Ashira is also in the Quran Sharif. And we go on to another one here, Surah Imran, verse 33. Inna Allah astafa. So when it comes to Imam, the Rasul, the Imam, it's not the election thing, that the human beings would do some election here and come up with the Imam or the Prophet. No, it's not that way. We have a special term in Ismaili philosophy, mansusu min Allah, chosen by Allah. Rasul was chosen by Allah. So Imam was chosen by Allah and Rasul. So yeah, Inna Allah hastafa, certainly Allah chose Adam wa Noah wa al Ibrahim. Here, Adam, Noah. When it says chose Adam, Noah, nothing in between. Well, all Adam is included in that. All Noah is included in that. When it says all Ibrahim, is the language of wisdom. One language is language of Arabic. Somebody who might have a master's in Arabic, but it still will not get any meaning, esoteric meaning at all, because the esoteric meaning comes from the submission to the Imam of the time, a proper channel. So here in this verse of the Quran, it doesn't mention Ibrahim alayhi salam, but it mentions Al Ibrahim wa Al Imran al Alameen. From the whole humanity, he chose. So Adam, Noah, Al Ibrahim, Al Imran. Okay, who's Al Ibrahim? And they, whoever they are, zuriyatam ba'zuha min ba'zin. So they're descendants of each other. So let's go. Al Ibrahim, find out Al Ibrahim. The main primary source is the Quran Sharif. If we come up with the Quran Sharif, then who's going to deny that? The secondary source will be the Hadith. Al Ibrahim. I think we mentioned this verse of the Quran here. وَجَاهِدُوا فِي اللَّهِ حَقَّ جِهَادِهِ. It's in plural form. It's not for one person, it's not for 2%. It's more than 2%. So there's a group that Allah is commanding. وَجَاهِدُوا. So more than 2 people do the jihad. فِي اللَّهِ حَقَّ جِهَادِهِ. In the path of Allah, truly, duly jihad. حَقَّ جِهَادِهِ. The way it must be. So the hukum, the command for jihad is only for this group of the people. Contrary to the fact that today what's going on around the world, everybody is declaring jihad. So ask yourself, is that jihad? Allah has designated this post, this office of jihad, this group. Who's that group? Huwajtabakum. Allah, only Allah. Huwa, Allah has chosen them. Kum. Now it's addressing a second person. So all group of people, you do the jihad in a true sense and a duly as it must be. Huwajtabakum. And Allah has chosen you, that group. So kum is more than 2 people. وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ. In the religion, he has not made any, tangi, that you will need those things, he would not be there. That means you have all the resources that's needed for this jihad. Here, Millata Abikum Ibrahim. Whoever this group is, Millata Abikum Ibrahim. So Ibrahim is the forefather or fathers of this group. And historically it's proven that Ibrahim alayhi salam was the forefathers of Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Muhammad sallam is not separate from Ali alayhi salam. Just 2 generations, 1 generation was Abdul Muttalib. It went all the way to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. From Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. So this is Millata Abikum Ibrahim, who was Sammakumul Muslimin min qabli wa fi haza. So your forefather Ibrahim that called you Muslimin in the Quran here and at this time, also min qabli. In the other canonical books too, divine books. Why? Then the subject changes here. لِيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ شَهِيدًا عَلَيْكُمْ, so that the Rasul, the Prophet, would be a witness alaykum, on all of you, this group. So this group, these are the Imams. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the witness upon all these Imams. Hazrat Ali salam up to now, Shakir Musa Yazir Imam. So we are coming to this proof from the Quran Sharif that our beloved Imams are Ali Nabi, Awlad Ali, Ali Ibrahim. And thus, in the before, when the salawat used to be said like this: Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin al-Mustafa wa Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidun majid. So complete form of salawat is such that it combines the Ali Ibrahim and Ali Muhammad sallallahu in the salawat. And this all in the Quran Sharif. So Rasul would be witness upon all of you, the Imams. Watakunu, this plural, and new group, you Imams will be witnesses, shuhada, shahid, shahidan, shuhada. So Ali alayhi salam was a shahid at his time. Imam Hussain alayhi salam was shahid at his time. Allah has al qiyas. On that pattern, every Imam is shahid, a witness for all these people living today in the world. All these people, because he is Imamun Nas and Imamul Muttaqin. So in that case, Shuhada'a. So that's another subject. We don't go there. But here we were talking about Millata Abikum Ibrahim. If that's the case, because the subject matter is about the Ghadir Khum. We go back there. Al Ibrahim. So we came to the conclusion from Quran Sharif, Al Ibrahim, or those who are the shuhada, the witnesses about, for all the people. If you ask any mullahs, any so-called mullah or a religious leader, are you a witness? Are you going to be responsible to witness on behalf of all these people in front of Allah on the day of judgment? None of them would be able to say yes. No way. So Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah Salah, at his time, said that he's going to be represent all the Ismailis. Ask the others what are they going to say? Can they be responsible? Can they represent all the people? No way. And that's the reasoning, that's the logic that in the Quran Sharif is يَوْمَ نَدْعُ كُلَّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ. On that day of resurrection, the groups of the people will be called upon along with their imams, the imamihim, not with their prophets or rasuls, nabiyihim, no, imams, because imam is always there. If imam would not be present there, then the people will have an excuse, a reason that we did not have somebody. Well, in case of Ismailis, in the 24 in a day, 3 times they say wa ala hujjatil amri sahibuz zamani wal asr. We confess 3 times a day that hujjat, who is the possessor of the command, of divine command, waliyul amr, he azir mawjud on us, he's the witness. For in our case, everything is solved. We have a witness, divine witness there. So ours is everything logical, everything's perfect. If we do a good job, we do our homework, we will not be ashamed of what on the day of resurrection. But as long as with the other cases, the moment they say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasul, that's the first step to become a Muslim. But somebody who is witnessing, who gave you the authority to witness, they fail the first step. From that 5 pillars of Islam, if you fail the first step, what would you do with the rest of the steps? And their own language, 5 pillars. Ours not 5 pillars, ours 7 pillars. We don't go into that. But here's the concept of shahadat, witnessing. They're all interlinked with this Ghadiruhum, Imamat, Shahadat, all this interlinked. So we came to understand that Al Ibrahim, and they're present here, and we confess to that 3 times a day. Hujjatul Amr, Sahib Zaman wal, at the end of every part of the dua, we witness that. Shakani Muslim, Azra Mawjud, Azra Mawjud, Azra Mawjud. We have a good passport. We have a valid passport for Akhirat, provided we do our homework properly. Otherwise, we'll be accountable accordingly too. When we Al Imran, okay, Al Ibrahim is, now we understood that. The Imams, Al Imran, in the history we have 3 Imrans. At the time of Maryam alayhi salam, and before that, at the time of Musa alayhi salam. So Maryam alayhi salam's father was Imran. At the time of Musa alayhi salam was an Imran. Then at the time of Hazrat Ali alayhi salam, Ali alayhi salam's father's name is Umran. Abu Talib, it means Abu means father, Talib, Abu of father of Talib. It's called Ismi Kuniyat in Arabic. In Arabic, respectfully, it says father of that son, with reference to the eldest son in the family. So Abu Talib. That's called Ismi Kuniyat. His given name, Abu Umran. So Al Umran. Now here, Allah has chosen all those, and then Al Umran. So Umran was Al Umran, came Ali alayhi salam. Then Ali alayhi salam killed Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. Here, Al Umran, Fatimi, Fatimi, Fatimi. Connect this to the previous session, Fatimi, Fatimi. Ismaili Mazhab is beautiful. Everything is logic. Everything according to the religion of nature. In religion of nature, there's dynamism all the time. It's growth, progress, dynamism. So everything is according to the divine mission, divine will, well planned, logical. Conditions are that we need to be aware of all these details, of this wisdom. Information is too much. Knowledge is also too much, which book to read right away. But the wisdom gives you some kind of power, recognition, some kind of what do you call it? Pearl insight that will grow by itself. Give you some kind of light. So wisdom has that kind of characteristic. So wisdom is the essence of knowledge. We learn wisdom, it's going to attract all this knowledge around it. And information is way outside of that. People get lost in information. But if we are learning wisdom, that's a shortcut, especially in this busy life. We need the shortcuts. So there, Zuriyatun Ba'zuhum min Ba'zin is covered. And there's a lot of verses in that question. We try to cover it quickly. Because the first one I thought was very important, so I spent quite a bit of time on that. Now the other ones we go a bit quickly. If we don't understand, then we can cover that during the question period. Summa, and then awrasna al-kitab allazina istafayna min ibadina. Here's the beauty. If kitabina, kitaba, al-kitab. What's al-kitab? Quran Sharif, heavenly book. And who is the waris? Who is going to be the heir to that kitab? Who's going to own that kitab? Who's going to be the lord of that book? Summa awrasna al-kitab allazina. We made those people. So it's in plural, not one or two. It's lazina. Awrasna al-kitab allazina nastafayna min ibadina, that we have chosen from our servants. Now go back to that verse. It's all related. Which servants of Allah has Allah chosen? Inna Allah astafa Adam wa Noha wa al Ibrahim wa al Imran al alamin. They were the ones that will be the heirs to the Al-Kitab. Nobody else. Nobody else. And we already, in the light of Quranic verses, we came up to that understanding with the love, with the humility, with a sense of gratitude that they are the beloved Imams, our beloved Imams. They're the ones. So what happens? Now these people, as we know, the history is witness, all the time, all the way from the time of Adam alayhi salam, this struggle carried on. يحسدون الناس على ما آتاهم الله من فضله فقد آتينا آل إبراهيم الكتاب والحكمة وآتيناهم ملكا عظيما. So this hasad, this enmity, this controversy, our adversaries, way against, we have the, even in the today's, let's say, we have in the democratic system, we have the government, then you have the opposition. Opposition must be there to do the job. So, system of government. The same way in divine mission is always there's adversities to the Imam. There's wisdom in that. There's wisdom in that. So, in these other people also, let's look at the translation, how they translate. Or do they envy people for what Allah has given them of His bounty? So yahsuduna, hasad, from this hasad, yahsuduna, they do that hasad, envy those people. For those people that Allah has given them this bounty. What's that bounty? فَقَدْ أَتَيْنَا آلَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ الْكِتَابَ. Again, Al Ibrahim. So we don't go in detail. We already know who is Al Ibrahim. Al Kitab has been given only to Al Ibrahim. And what else? And the Hikmat, the wisdom, and Mulkan Azima, the office of Imamat. Everything has been given to this these chosen servants. Nothing is left outside, so they have nothing there. Absolutely nothing. The Al Kitab is here, the wisdom is here, the kingdom is here, the great kingdom is here. Everything is here. Al Dawood. It's Al Ibrahim, Al Dawood is all the same. At one point says that we have given Al Dawood hikmat so that they would be grateful. So here's the thing. So being grateful is linked to the hikmat, wisdom. Those who are given his wisdom, they need to be grateful. Those who have nothing, no wisdom, no knowledge, what do they need to be grateful for? All this is beautiful verses in the Quran. This is about the recognition of the Imam. This is all about the proofs about the Adam, Noah, Al Ibrahim, and Al Imran. It's all connected. It's all Imam Shinasi. It's all Imam Shinasi. This is very important that we are strong in Imam Shinasi, especially in today's age. And we could humbly and gratefully carry it on to the next generation, so our next generation, because the attacks from adversaries is enormous in this age. Enormous. Our children go to school, they come under these attacks, all these adversaries that you can imagine. All those who have gone through school or their children go to school, they come with all these messages that are we Muslim? Are we do this? Do we fast? Do we do this? Do we do that? So look at this beauty. The only thing that the biggest challenge is that how can we carry it on to our youth? This pride, this sense of gratefulness, this sense of all this wisdom that we have. This is eternal blessings that we have, but the only thing is very challenging to carry it on successfully to our youth, especially to the youth, so they stay fast on Sirat al-Mustaqim. That's pretty much about this. So again, there's another verse of the Quran that about the Mawla. It's not very relevant to this topic, but somewhat I picked it up. I think it's in the book, in the answer. If they argue that they with different meanings of Mawla, then we come up with this verse of the Quran. إنما وليكم الله والرسول والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. In this verse of the Quran says that who is your wali? Wali in what sense? It could be friend. Wali is also friend. Wali is in the meaning of this, who also like Mawla. In this verse of the Quran, based on that principle of parallelism, parallel. If Allah puts Himself and also two other personalities at par with Him, that only these can be your wali, then there's not such a deficiency in the other personalities. It's all at par. Innama, there's no other way. Only your wali. Walikumullah. Allah is your wali, and His Rasul is wali. And those, now here's that. And those people, it's in plural. It's in plural. Yuqimuna salat, if you understood the meaning of this, that group who was designated by Allah, who was commanded by Allah that do the jihad in a true sense. They're plural, in a plural form, more than two people. Lazina is also in plural form. Although at that event, Hazrat Ali was alone, that during the ruku, when he was bowing down in the prayers, and he gave his ring to that beggar. He was alone, but he was representing, he was the comprehensive of all these imams. He was the office of the whole office of imamat. That's why it's in plural form. All these verbs are in plural. Yuqimuna salat, lazina yuqimuna salat, wa yutunu zakat. It's all in plural. Wahum rakin, and they are in a bowing position. Only it was Ali salam, but all the imams. Imam Asas is the mother of all the imams. So all imams were in Ali salam. So Hazrat Ali salam was representing the whole progeny, his progeny, every single imam up to now. In that case, wahum raki'un. So here is the way. They're the ones that will be our wali. And it starts with innama. There's no other way, like no other people, no other way. Only Allah, His Rasul, and the imams. That was Ali alayhi salam, he was representing all the imams. And this very much a lot of even in Sunni sources they agree that it was Ali alayhi salam. Historically, it's proven that it was Ali alayhi salam who was giving the ring while he was bowing prayers, doing ruku. So these are our identity from the Quran Sharif. And what else? Then comes wa'tasimu bihablillah jami wa la tafarqu. This question is started in a sort of denial. As somebody denies the Ghadir Khum. So to counter that, okay, let's say Allah's commanded that wa'tasimu, all of you together, because it's a plural verb, it's imperative in a plural form. Tasimu, it's not wa'tasim, that only one person. Wa'tasimu, it's more than two. It's all of you. Bihablillah, so hold tight to the rope of Allah. Jami'an wa la tafarqu. We can ask, are we Muslim? Yes, we're Muslims. Okay, alhamdulillah. Have we divided, or we are on only one group of Muslims? Nobody can say we haven't been divided in it. Look at this, all the divisions. The moment, if he would say, no, we're one Muslim, then he's lying. He or she is lying. Because you can see across the world, the divisions. He cannot deny the divisions. If that's the division, it leads to the next question. Then we did not follow Allah's command, did we? Wa'tasimu, we did not implement it, did we? If we had implemented, we would have been only one ummah. Only one ummah. With one true guide and following the same way path. But look at this divisions. That divisions by itself represent that we did not hold tight to that rope. If that's the case, then Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam complained about his ummah, not about other people, not about the Jews or Christians. In the Quran Sharif it says, وَقَالَ الرَّسُولَ رَبِّي, and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Lord, إِنِّي قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ مَهْجُورًا. Certainly my qawm. Qawmi. Said my qawm. Who was Rasul's qawm? Jews? Christianity? No. Those who said La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. So Rasul complains about them. They had taken Quran as mahjura, obsolete, useless thing. It's a lot of meanings. So here Rasul complains in the presence of Allah that my qawm, and here that confirms this verse of the Quran, that the people, the ummah, did not hold tight to that rope, because that rope is not a single thread. Rope is always twisted too, and that was Kitabullah wa itrati. Because that Kitabullah wa itrati is like that, like a rope. And they left. But the Ismailis, fortunately, across the world, have one Imam, one true guide. Everything is under that guide, true guide, Imam of the age. And they confess every day, Hujjatul Amr Sahib Zaman wal Asr. And they do that prostration. That prostration is based on divine command. So our dua has a lot of meanings, a lot of layers of meanings in it. And if we understand our duas, I think it carries that weight of that message about Imam Shinasi, about the sajda, about the risalat, about the ghadirikum. Everything is in our dua. Very meaningful, very deep meanings. And as far as the others concerned, they have been trying to put this nur right from the time of Adam. This verse of the Quran testifies to that. Yuriduna, they do the irada, they have the intention, they try hard at whatever they can. Ayutfi'u, that nur Allah, that this nur Allah, the light of Allah, they try to put out with their mouth. This blows from their mouth. وَيَابَ اللَّهِ, and Allah does not like that. Does not like that. What Allah doesn't, again, contrary to that, إِلَّا but أَيُّتِمَ نُورَهُ, yutima, he completes, yutim, tamam, mutim, completes his nur. وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. So this completion has a lot other explanation. I think we've covered this in the past, how nur gets completed. It's not that nur is incomplete. It is complete, but with reference to the cycles and the imam gets completed to the point. It is going to take us to another discussion, but I think time requires more time, so we're going to leave it at that. But from all these verses of the Quran, I think we humbly and gratefully, with your prayers, get a sense of our identity. Imams are ours. Radikhum is ours. Imam Ali was the foundation Imam. Yeah, that's about us. That's our identity. All the Imams are our identity. All of them are Al Ibrahim, Al Muhammad, Awladi Ali, Fatimi. And what else do we need? Shukur Guzari. Just being grateful in a practical sense, as much as we can learn and pass it on, because these things are not ours. If we think it's ours, in a worldly sense, secular knowledge is such that you have some ideas, you don't want that to be stolen, you don't make money on it, it's a different story. But it is on the spiritual side and the religious side, the more you give away, the more comes. If anybody thinks it's not that way, then they're greedy, then things shrink to the point that that person gets confused himself or herself. It doesn't make sense anymore. But they keep it going on, because it comes from up. And because it is in the spiritual knowledge, it's always dynamic and it's always flowing. The soul should be flowing from the presence of Imam Azan alayhi salam. Then everything all the words have souls in it. All these books, when we read any book of our peers, Hujjats, great da'is, when they were holding that pen, the ta'id, the help of the Imam of the time was there, to make their pen run, right. And when we read all this, in the beginning we don't understand, but inshallah, the more and more we read and connect, because all these words from his presence have come in the form of physical way sense, but they have angels, determined angels, designated angels on these books, because everything is based on truth. They have soul in it. When those souls connect for us, as if it takes us back to, what do you call, hikmat baligha, that reaching of that wisdom to the origin. Origin is وَكُلَّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ فِي إِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ. So when we read all these books, Farmans, all that, if we get a true sense of happiness, humility, all that, and understanding all that, that gets us, may get us stronger and stronger. That means the angels, because the angels, it's not like a physical, it's a lot of definition about the angels. It's in the form of particles, invisible particles. So that's coming to make the connection. So if that connection is happening, taking place, alhamdulillah, shukr. So we should know why is it happening. So the more we know, the more we can benefit from these principles. Walhamdulillah ala mannihi wa ihsanihi, and thank you very much for your attention. And you may forgive me for any shortcomings. And ya Ali Madad.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. It is so crucial to know our history, to understand the primary source, and understand the language also. And if we don't understand the language, at least find the good teachers who can explain it to us in a Tawili sense. And we are very grateful for you to come on our platform and explain these Tawili meanings to us, so we can connect better and we understand how actually we ourselves as Smiley, we need to be grateful for Mawla's mercy on all of us. And inshallah, we can communicate by being role models and, learning ourselves and passing it to our upcoming generations, inshallah.
Ameen, Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. It's all your prayers, your vibration of your souls.
Friends, if you have any questions, any comments, you can unmute and come forward. I know it is a lot to absorb, especially the Quranic verses, and the most important thing of, I feel that ayah istafa and the references you quoted about, Dawat Ushira and all of those. So inshallah, friends, we'll be connecting. Ji Shabira Saba, you have question or comment?
Yeah, I just, I think you said what I was about to say, which is um, I am now understanding that whole period during the Gadire Kum, what was going on within the family, all the Quranic ayats. It was amazing to see them all together. Um, it was just, every time I would recite the third part of dua, I always wondered, this is so simple. There has to be more to this, right? And yes, you hear certain verses or certain hadiths, and but this was the most comprehensive. And believe me, I just have touched the surface of everything he said. I mean, there's a lot for me to learn here. The other thing I really appreciated is when he talked about how to extract the wisdom from the knowledge. And just bringing attention to that was really helpful, because I was overwhelmed when I listened to all that. And I thought, okay, I don't know the details. I have references, but I started to understand the wisdom, right? Like, why are we reciting this in the third part of the dua? And the fact that there are references to the family that Maulana Ali came from, and tying it back to all the prior imams and prophets, back to the Quranic verse, and that it took me to another level of depth. And for me, for now, that is my wisdom. I understand it deeper than I did it before. So I just wanted to share that those things really stood out for me.
Shukran Allah. Shukr
Like
is
not get
wisdom.
lost in the details, because sometimes you get overwhelmed and you think, what can I take away from this? And I think it's that deeper wisdom. And it
Sure.
allows me to communicate it to others without having the deep knowledge, but that I can say, you know, I can refer to these verses and some of the understanding that I got, which is for me, the biggest one was how much that period before and all the other imams and prophets were all the proof by the time Maulana Ali was declared the first imam of this cycle. So thank you, Shukar.
This wisdom, you gotta love this wisdom. You gotta develop that relationship, that love thing with this wisdom. And wisdom is ours. Because in the hadith, it says, Al-hikmatu zallat al-mu'min. This hikmat, wisdom, is a lost asset of us. We have lost it. We had it, we lost it. Now we're in the process of reclaiming it. When we hear all this, we get excited, we get happy inside. Why? Because as if our lovely child is lost. Are we looking for it? We're looking for it. We found it. Oh, we get excited. We found it. We recognize it. So with the, this wisdom is our lost asset. So if you find your lost asset, how would you react? And spirituality, it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful that right now is, let's say we are weak from, let's say history knowledge. If you still ask me from 1 to 5, you would grade me at 2. I don't know much. With all these books, I haven't read this previous Dai's books, but what do we have? Imam of the time. That's everything. Then from that source, draw, because we want Pir Sadruddin's soul to help you. We want Pir Nasr Khosrau's soul to help you. They are all part of that one source here. If they've written all this literature, you have hard time. I believe, because once they become alive eternally and they become one with the Imam, there's no way that they're disappear. No, they're there. They're in that nur of the Imam. All of them are there. So with humility, we got to do a lot of homework, sacrifices too, like work hard to come towards this, how this wisdom thing works. Then all these secrets, that connections have designated angels, muakkal, muakkilin, like designated angels. So when we become Faran Bardar, then his mercy kicks in. So based on our capacity, those levels get activated. So level up. They get activated, they work in your favor. Those souls exist in a particles when it says, my beloved spiritual children, this all his prayers are out there, but we're not receiving it. We don't know how to receive it. Just we need to find out, work hard, and get how to work it out, just so they can, we start receiving it. Then these books become, because too many books, where do you start, where to read? Even the one little one, if you read properly, then everything it's connected. From, let's say, from ALWAAZ 150 books, if you read 5 books properly, understand it properly, then you pick any books, you understand it, no problem. Because if we, the speed we are going, 1-2 question only, we're going to impress some principle way. So we should be going by on our own. If we go at this speed, we need another lifetime to cover all these books. So we need wisdom. Wisdom, the rest inshallah will come.
Inshallah. Subhanallah. I think it's amazing, you know, when you mentioned about knowledge and wisdom, you know, beautifully in the hadith, it is clearly said that I am city of knowledge and Ali is the gate. So when he gave the example of knowledge, he said city, right? And we know now, right, information is all at our tips of fingers at this point. You know, and when he said wisdom, he said, I am the house of wisdom. So in a country, there is a city, and then there is one single house, which is House of Wisdom, and it is of Mola's house. So indeed, we are looking for wisdom, and this was really helpful for us to, I think, connect the dots here and understand how important it is to understand books with the deeper meaning of it. So subhanallah, subhanallah. Friends, we'll take one more last comment or question if you want to come forward. Okay, if not, then I think we all need to ponder so much more on this, what we have learned today, and inshallah we will continue to learn more. And thank you so much, Sultanuddin Sahib, for giving us time, coming on our platform, and enlightening our hearts with such beautiful wisdom. Thank you so much. Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad. Ya Ali Madad.
Yeah, Mama. Thank you so much.